Hey, welcome back everyone. Last episode we built this massive dragon egg sanctuary, and in the process of doing so, we made a moss farm that kinda left a hole in the middle of our base. So today we're going to be building a beautiful overgrown house to cover it up, and this video is going to be a lot of me talking and walking everyone through the building process rather than having heavy editing and a lot of time lapses. So let's go do that. Let's start with a layer of mossy cobblestone, mossy stone bricks, cobblestone and tuff. Let's make another partition over here, just go slightly in. Okay, let's make these walls a bit taller now. Slowly I want to transition from using these 4 blocks to adding some stone and stone brick into the mix. The higher I go, the more I turn towards just simple textures like stone and andesite, and being a bit more hesitant to use stuff like the cobblestone or the tuff. Now I'm going to try something different. You know how usually we use like 2 layers in our houses. So there's the base floor and there is one more. Like over here and over here. I'm going to try adding 3 layers. So one plus another one and then plus another one. But I'm not going to do it on both sections. This is going to continue with this pattern up until the second floor, while this is going to swap out, and then they're both going to meet on the third floor. So let's just bring this layer over here up a bit more. So let's start making the outline for the second floor. Now let's start filling it in. For the bottom layer, I'm going to go with pure sandstone because, as I've said before, it's always nice to have the bottom part be a little bit different in terms of texture. And then we can use smooth sandstone and everything else for the higher levels. I'm also not going to start making the windows yet. I'm going to leave that for later. I'm not liking this. It feels like it's just big splotches. So I think I'm just going to take out all of the sandstone here. I'm going to keep it birch, and then the third floor, that's what's gonna have the sandstone. So we have going from darker to lighter. So yeah, let's go do that. Okay, nice. These are looking a lot better. So now we can continue. I'm just going to go ahead and add in the third floor. I'm going to go a bit further in though. Now I'm just going to fill it in using sandstone, smooth sandstone and sand. So the next thing I wanna do is poke out some windows, just so I have a better understanding of where I want the second floor arches to go. That will become more apparent in a bit. And well, I ended up making this taller, so now this is hanging out, so we're going to go ahead and remove that as well. Okay, we added the windows and the rim. It might look a bit weird just floating around right now, but you have to trust me on this one. What I did is I left a gap here, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just add some moss here. I have some grass blocks. We're going to add some small details on top because this is my overgrown house, right? The thing we're covering is a moss farm, and I'm planning to maybe add a couple of more farms underneath. So it's really simple. It's just one gap. When the window is an odd number, I just do a 1 1 1, When it's an odd number, I do a 1, 1, 2, 1, as you can see right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the moss, and I think you will slowly see the vision here and start seeing what I see. Now this is starting to look a lot better. See how it's starting to come alive? Just the few details. We're not even done with the exterior, but just adding those few details. Whenever you want to use a bamboo that doesn't grow, put a string on top of it. We have some long grass, some ferns, some flowering azaleas, some small drip leaves. I have very few of these and they are finite, but this is the time to use them. They make really good decoration. So yeah, I'm really happy. Maybe I'm gonna poke a few more holes. I think actually I might make this a bit taller first, and then we're gonna add the roof to it. I'm not going to bother with the details already because that's for later. Details go in the end, but I will try to torch this place up because after we add the roof, this will be very dark and I don't want mob spawning here. I've had a change of heart, so what I'm actually going to do for now is add the floor on top of this side of the building. So as I said, we will have 3 floors on that side, but only 2 on this one. This is going to be a long stone, and then we're gonna have another structure over here. Okay, so now that this is done, I want to just start shaping out our roofs, and the pattern we're gonna go for is 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Then we're doing a 3, 1, 2, 3, and then again a 1, 2. Okay, so this side is done. Now, a little bit of a tip. If you're ever going to do 2 roofs that will meet, like this let's say, or my build over here, before you start filling in the roof, you want to trace out the second roof, because then you will know how far your blocks want to be. So, I'm going to also do the rim here. Now, I am going to start filling this in with moss. I'm not going to do the extra details yet, but I will want to explain to you guys how to do the slanted roofs, because we're going to do a slanted roof here. This is more of an elven build kind of thing, where the roof is not straight, it just goes a little bit down. It also signals a bit of a rundown feeling. So I'm going to put in the moss and then bring you along for the roof. Now it's really starting to come alive. I will go through it later and add the grass patches and everything. That's going to make it feel even better. But for now, the first thing I want to do is I want this to stick out a bit. It's very, again, like an elven kingdom kind of thing. It looks a lot better, so just see how that looks. Yeah, something like that. I really like that, right? And now for the slanted roof, I'm just going to go ahead and continue this pattern. I don't like how harsh this difference is, so I'm just going to add a stair to make it a bit more smooth. Then again, stair over here. A trick is that you can only slant, like the amount of slant has to go a bit according to how big your how long your roof is, right? Because if it's too deep down and your roof is short, it won't look as good. So you're going to need to go through it yourself and just kind of see how you like it. When I tested this build, I found that this is the amount of slant that I felt was best for the build. See, just a small slant, nothing major, and it just adds so much more character, right? That makes all the difference. Now, how good does that look, right? So simple. Yet, it looks so nice. Made so much more difference just to add that, besides it being a straight roof. Not every build is good for this, but yeah. Now I'm just going to go through and add the greenery as I told you earlier, and I'm gonna show you the process, and I'm gonna show you when I'm done with that process. I'm definitely liking this. I think it looks pretty good. We added all of the small details. I added in some bamboo logs, I think these are. Again, most of the other details are the same. A few ferns, some bamboo, dirt with some tall grass. Pretty much, I'm really liking the roof. I think it shows exactly what I wanted to show. And I started adding leaves, but some places I like them, some places feel a bit too stale, so I'm going to work those out little by little. There are some places that I think it could use more work, some places I think it looks pretty nice. And the other thing I'm doing right now is I added a floor on the inside because I want to add the second floor so I can handle the details a bit easier and not having to fly in and out every time. I added some details onto the windows. On this side, it's just fence in between, some oxidized copper trapdoors on the side, and the above and the below. Here it's a bit different with some hanging ferns. Same on this side. I still haven't started on the third floor, but yeah, I think for now I'm just going to finish the second floor, and the next thing I want to do is add a second entrance over here. So it's going to need a staircase going up here and then turning in, because I think it would be way too steep to start from here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, wait, what's that? Huh? What? What the? Huh? Whoa! Oh, it's April Fools! Well, a lot has happened, but this is April Fools, so we get these funny effects when we use rockets, and I just upgraded to 1.21.5, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to find a desert, and somewhere where I can get wildflowers and everything the desert has, so let's go. Desert. Camel. Ooh, here we go. I think we need shears for this. Yep. Short and tall. Let's grab a few. Cactus flower. This looks really nice. A lot of leaf litter. And wildflowers. Nice. I think that's everything for this update. Okay, I think this is going to be the last item. I need to find a firefly bush. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay. So I think we have every single new item. Okay, so we're back at base, and I just want to show you guys how powerful this tiny farm is, right? Super tiny, super compact. You can farm all of these items and all of these items just from this one single spot. So for the bush, you just stand here, boom. The wildflowers, you just place them there, boom. You wanna do the firefly bush, same thing. You wanna do the tall dry grass, just like that. This is such an OP farm. I think everyone should have this tiny farm. Wait, where's the... No, they broke the XP farm, I forgot. Oh, I'm gonna have to go to the end every time. Oh. Okay, so for the details of the house, I'm just going to go ahead and do them. When you're doing details, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what you're doing, and I'm always breaking stuff down and putting it back up again. So yeah, I'm just going to do it and then show you the final result and explain everything there. After many hours, it's finally done. I also took a screenshot. So I'm gonna take it from the outside going in. On the bottom floor, I added all of these window designs. Very straightforward, very simple. We added some glowberries, a lot of leaves around, some more windows. Here is an outdoor area. A really nice trick with smokers that a lot of people do is like put a vent to it. This is just an outdoor hangout area. Put your stuff in. Nothing very special. This is the back entrance. Again, some windows, a bit of fields, the door design that I really like, a lot of leaf coming out. I really struggled getting to these stairs. In the beginning I had it coming out over here, I didn't like it. I had it one block out and it was the same as this and I hated it. So what I did is I made it straight and I made a little hut here that will have purpose. So right underneath here, I think if I break this block, yeah, right underneath here is where my mine is, pretty much where I get my deep slate and my tuff. So I'm going to add a bubble column and a big drop over here. Just some extra space if I want to add chests so I can put my stuff in or maybe transport them up here. That would be very nice. We lost the dirt block, let's steal one. Yeah, a few logs. Here I had this 2 wide gap and I could not for the life of me think of what I should put, and I think just having some shelves with some pots is really nice. This is also a very cute little hut. I'm really happy with it. As for interiors, I haven't done anything yet. I just have the exterior done. I'm going to leave it for next episode. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing in the next episode more. So let's just check the second floor. The second floor has a unique design of windows. Not unique, but it's using the waxed copper trapdoors. I kept them all simple. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to add pots here, I forgot. This is just super simple, like nothing crazy with the second floor. I think it looks nice. It is missing the pots and I'm going to add them. So the third floor is where it starts to look a lot better. We added a balcony area over here. We have a lot of pretty windows. I have a nice design over here of a window. Let's try get a better look. I used dark oak on the outside, some spruce on the inside to make like a circular design. I think it came out pretty good. I like it. Always a lot of leafage, a lot of lanterns hanging down. Same over here. Straightforward stuff. On top of here I have just a window with some fences. I didn't go too fancy. Over here, and this might look better because this is not my design. The whole build I was heavily inspired by a guy that plays on the bakery server, which is like one of the best building servers. And I ran out of ideas, so I pretty much took this. It looks really good. This is like the M that I have up front. The balcony area is right over here. I kept it really simple. I'm going to add more things to it. It's just I'm really burned out right now, so I'm going to leave it in the future. I like the door design. Every floor is not done inside, and I actually haven't shown you how we can also come in from the back, and how we can also come in from the side here. Instead of a door, I just added hanging signs. This is something people used to do with banners, but I also believe it looks really nice with the hanging mines. So, okay, I'm gonna pause and put the pod so it looks better. Okay, nice. I just couldn't stand looking at it. It just adds a lot of life for pretty much nothing. We also didn't talk about these window designs right here. All of them really simple. They have shutters, open, closed, whatever. nothing special. All of this outside is just I used a lot of different small things, mostly just grass. I used some of the new 1.25.1 blocks or whatever, some leaf litter, some bamboo really goes nicely for a um, bit of a break in the colors. It's just overall something that I'm really happy with. I think it looks amazing and it will serve a really big purpose, and that's what I'm gonna be focusing on the next episode. So if you still remember, we have our moss farm under here. The two of them, I actually went ahead and extended this room by a lot because right now in my world I don't have a bamboo farm or a sugarcane farm, and I've been really needing those. So next episode we're going to decorate this whole room. We're going to add a bamboo farm here. We're going to add a sugarcane farm. I'm thinking of adding the new cactus flower into a farm over here, maybe a small one. We don't need too many. I'm also planning to terraform a bit outside because due to how this house is layered, this side just doesn't make sense anymore. What I'm going to do is first of all remove that ugly part from there, and I also want to have this framed, so when you're walking through this alley I want all of that dirt to be gone so I can just have a straight look at the magnificent dragon egg build right there. So all of these needs to come down right here, and this needs to come back so there's more room over here. I also need to make more paths connecting to the doors like we have with every building that's far. So yeah, that's it. This took more than I anticipated. Detailing is literally the hardest part in Minecraft and the one I think most people struggle with the most. Like in the church library building, it took a lot of time to just come up with designs, and what I'll often do is I'll try to get some inspiration for small stuff here and there, but I really try to keep it as mine as possible, even though I do take heavy inspirations for this build and that build. But yeah, I actually might add another tree. I really like this tree that I did, so we might do that next episode as well. So thank you for sitting me through this yapping session. I want to really thank you guys that have been supporting me thus far. I want to give a special thanks to DogChampa9324 for being my #1 fan. Always comments, always watches my videos. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, I'll try to make the next video a bit sooner. I also have some massive plans for a very big build and another area very soon. So thank you. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.